So let's get started. All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis coach and your personal guide. So today's pod is a really special pod. And for those of you who are new here, the pod is aptly titled The iHypnosis Coaching Journeys. And my guest, Veena BK, is somebody who embodies this in every sense of the word. Um, I'll just share a short story here with you. I met Veena BK at the start of my digital marketing journey, especially as a coach and healer. This was way back in 2019, in fact, December of 2019. And my very first official funnel, my very first official webinar I honestly forget the number of people on it, but the most important thing was, there we go. The most important thing was that I had a dedicated student, a dedicated client in the making. I had no idea about it. And ever since, we've just been in and out of so many variations, so many funnels, and so many programs. And it's my immense honor to have here Veena BK. And, when someone pays you money and pays attention, it means something. And someone who's willing to really take the time to not only invest in what you're doing, especially as a digital coach. So for those of you who are out there right now watching this, who are digital coaches on your journey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When someone is willing to invest in you, invest in your message, because it is fueling, because it is really giving them hope, that's when you know you're onto something. And for me, I've been extremely blessed to have Veena, Veena BK, and of course, I fondly call her Veena ji, and you'll hear the response in a moment. But with that, and of course, there are more stories that I'm sure will show up today during the call. So with that, welcome Veena ji, and looking forward to
Thank you, Rahul
hearing.
ji. Thank you so much. This is such a privilege, such an honor. I'm feeling my coaching journey has come a full circle. From that first meeting with you in December 2019, still every meeting happens virtually, but there are no barriers. That is what I feel with a mentor like you. Every step you are with me, leading me, guiding me, and here I am because of you today. And this is still so unbelievable doing this podcast with you. थैंक यू सो मच राहुल जी आई कॉल हिम एज राहुल जी इट इज राहुल जॉर्ज के लिए जी भी हो गया जे आई जी भी हो गया a person whom I respect and like no other person in the world for me who has always been there behind me with me guiding me so if I am to ji thank you so much.
Thank you for those uh, really deeply, and you can feel it, like there's this sense in the air, and I can feel your.
I'm feeling emotional actually.
Yeah, which is why the, like, I myself am, and I've felt it, like, for me this is like the fourth episode, um but every episode feels, it feels real. And that's the reason why the right guest shows up at the right time. And in fact, when I was in the process of creating this podcast as well, the intention was to find people who have made that connection with me, and to me, whether it's been a couple of, maybe a couple of months, or maybe a couple of years. And this is really what it's about. The reason why we are we are digital coaches, why we are healers, because it's not just about trying to figure out how to run a business. It's not about you
Right.
know how to be able to do our marketing right or our branding right. I mean, of course, those are things that are important. As digital coaches, we really want to feel good uh, about what we're doing, which means, in this world of social media today, everything, well, largely is about feedback. And, we are constantly sort of like chasing that, as they say, chasing that high, right? But these moments, just you and me, um, riding this wave together is again, like a revalidation of what brought this podcast into. Again, I have to keep reminding myself, this is not about me, this is about you. So let me start here. um, what I'm sure for people who do not know your history, your story, I'm sure it'll help them to get a sense of, like, the Veena BK today that's sitting here versus the Veena BK that was. Like, how did that journey happen, and what was that like for you? How did you get, basically, how did you get here?
So the intention of this podcast for me is to send my love to more moms. I'm a mom's
Mm,
empowerment mentor. That is intention number one. The star of this podcast is, like Rahulji said, it's not him, it's not me. It's for those who are listening to this, and especially this podcast is for digital coaches who may have some self doubt, some difficulties in their journey. So it is to energize them, because I have also been through the same journey and still challenges are there. So with
yes,
that intention, let's begin my story. When
beautiful.
Rahulji asked about my story, this is a different Veena. Earlier I was banker Veena. So me coming as a ex-banker, I served in State Bank of India for 22 years. And now when I look back, the dots connect. In 2009,
Mm,
I'd written in my diary that I want to be a trainer and I'll be trained by best of the best trainers. I didn't know how. I was still in the job. But 2016, I decided to quit my job and I didn't know what I'll do. So that is my background. But when I came home after resigning, I thought life will be very beautiful, retired life. But it was not like that. So I started to go downward because there was nothing to look forward to, nothing to do. Then I met with an accident. Maybe God took me 10 steps back to move me 20 steps forward. I didn't know it then. So I thought, what is this? So much pain, 1 year recovery, lot of three operations happened, three surgeries happened. And then I thought, what is Veena living for? There was no meaning to my life. So then I wanted healing for myself. So I
mm,
had been doing meditation, spiritual practices, all kinds of therapy. I was interested in this all spirit.
mm,
It was a spiritual quest for me. Since 25 years I was doing, but I went to my depths. Then I sought healing. Then one thing led to other. So then I came into this coaching world. Then I didn't know
mm,
what to do. I thought, I reflected back on my story as a parent, as a mother. I had to, it is such a dilemma for mom whether she should contribute to the family, or I was
mm,
already an employee, as a mother, as a person in the society. There are so many roles we manage. So that was never satisfactory for me, especially
mm,
those 2 years. I have one son, he is now 32 years old. But at that time, we were both earning one child we couldn't take care of, and I left him in a residential school because of my transferable job. There were a lot of problems. So his teenage years again, I didn't know how to handle. So all those struggles, when I was in a good place, I left the bank. But I could not forget my pains. In fact, I had suppressed them so much. I told Rahul, Veena is a happy person. But I didn't know so many pains were suppressed inside.
mm,
And Rahulji told me, you have to bring out your pains, then only your moms can understand what you have been through. I started, like, with Rahulji's guidance. I wrote a book. It's called The Incredible Mom. It's my biography, autobiography with guidance for moms. Literally, I used to stop writing and start crying when I wrote
mm,
my story as a parent, all the struggles I had to remember. Then I told Rahulji, I can't write this. He said, you have to write it. Now it's the time to bring out the pains. So that is where my story began as a coach. My life
Mm,
began as a coach with sharing my story. And then I started with kids actually. This is very
mm,
surprising for myself because I thought somewhere the child also suffered, my son suffered. So I thought I should help out kids with their studies. And at that time, COVID happened. So I was
mm,
taking parenting sessions. Then all things happened naturally. I felt that I connected with moms better. And this healing, my self healing, and the healing I was giving to the moms, everything came together. And every step Rahulji has been there because there's a lot of confusion about niche. What should I do? What am I doing? So somehow things led to each other, and Rahulji always guided me. All my doubts I used to ask him. I feel it happened. It happened, and Rahulji removed all the clutter. That's what we did together. The work together we did was not to get confused, stay on your path, and that helping attitude from the heart. When it comes, nothing can stop us. Only the
mm.
self doubt stops us, but we need a mentor like Rahulji for me, who always believes in me. I felt when I had self doubt, entire world may not believe in me, but Rahulji believes in me. And my moms were getting results. So these two people, one my mentor and one my community, they held me
Mm,
together. They held
beautiful,
me together. So this is my story, Rahulji,
beautiful,
in short.
beautiful. So, uh, like I know you know this. Like I am guilty of watching a lot of podcasts. Right? That's just there's that expression of guilty pleasure, but in a good way. Um, so one of the things that I've heard a lot about this expression, which is to double click on topics, right? It's like a modern day language thing or whatever. Like if I say that to my mom, she looks at me like, huh? What is that? So, so but you said a lot, and I definitely want to double click on a few of these things, right? So, and again, like we were just setting an intention before this, before we began. And I know that, there are people who are already in your niche. There are people who are essentially, digital coaches today. Broadly, that category exists today. Like till COVID times, there was no concept of digital coaching, right? Largely. So I know that there are digital coaches who have their own niches. So for some it's health, for some it's wealth, for some it's relationships, for some people it's spirituality, and for some it is, helping others find their purpose. So these are like what I call the five streams. So I'd love to, to spend a little bit of time here, because I know you. That's why I said, like, um, inviting guests is one thing, but inviting somebody who has, been so deeply connected to not only my journey, but you've been really connected to your journey, where you've done so many of these experiments, which is why today, you have risen, like when they say, you're head and shoulders above other people. I believe you're in a different, literally in a different plane altogether, right? Because it's not just theoretical. Like you've attended so many, um, not just webinars, but seminars and programs, and in person, and digitally, and you've learned a lot. But more importantly, you applied a lot. So, in a broad sense, if I was to say, what would be some of um, these lessons, not oh, I made a mistake and therefore I learned. Just, in terms of, like, to set up a business, for example, like what are some of the things that you have learned along the way that I know will help other digital coaches, and especially healers, because we are all guilty of saying, no, I just want to do my work. I don't I Business is not something that I want to set up. So I'd love to hear your take on that.
I think even now when Rahulji was sharing that I have done a lot, I have
Mm,
experimented, I have done courses, webinar. This is, I think, a shortcoming or a flaw in me. Maybe it's inbuilt quality that I don't acknowledge my success.
yes,
I need my
yes,
mentor to tell me, no, you have done it. You're actually doing great. I need that support. I don't know why, success doesn't seem like success yet because I have
yes,
big goals, and I
yes.
always test myself against my goals, and I feel I've achieved only so much. So this
Yes.
is like a reminder Rahulji always constantly gives me. So this may be a mistake or a flaw, like why don't I accept my success? So
Right.
I'm getting better at it to acknowledge my own success. But normally, I say, so what? I did this, then what next? What next? I'm
Correct.
always moving to the
Correct.
next one. I need to
Correct.
enjoy my successes is a lesson for me. I need to acknowledge myself, right? So that is one of the
Yes.
lesson I have been learning with Rahulji. I remember one phase, Rahulji, which you also know of. In 2021, my son got married, so I took a
Mm.
4 months break. I never did anything. Like moms were there with me. I told them I'll not be so active. There was a community of 174 moms at that time.
Mm.
I was doing parenting coaching. Then I took a break intentionally, but after that I didn't know how to restart. Then again
Mm.
I met Rahulji and took sessions from him. But then we both prepared for the hackathon. We are both with the same mentor.
Correct.
That's when my niche changed a little bit because I was talking to moms. Moms told me, we
Mm.
love your healing. I also loved my healing. So I thought, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to talk to
Mm.
moms. It is not just about parenting. Parenting is one aspect of a mom's life. How about I make her a mentor for her family? I
Beautiful.
made my dream bigger. Every
Wow.
mom can be a person. See, I cannot go and coach each
Mm.
family, each child.
Let me just pause you here for a second.
Yeah,
This part, you said something is very, very powerful,
yeah,
right? Uh, like share a little bit about what was that process where you had this, like, what they call a penny drop moment, right? Like you had this
yeah.
aha, you're like, no, let me make it bigger. What was that? Like what was happening at that point? Because you were in a mindset context, you were thinking differently, and then there was
Yes.
this one something that happened, and it just kind of shifted the way you started to see even your moms in this case.
I'm remembering that one session with you only where it happened. Because from about September 2021 to July 2022,
Hmm.
I used to tell in every session, Rahulji, no money coming in my account, no sales, nothing happening. What
Correct.
am I doing? So
Hmm.
it was lowest of the lowest because you asked about my low phases. It was my lowest
Hmm.
phase. Out of that, this came. Then we both started, brainstorming. Then I said I'll help moms, not even moms. I said I'll help everyone to sleep better. Then one sleep better group started.
Right.
So a lot of experimentations I did. Whatever I could do, I
Hmm.
could do 100 things. But out of
Hmm.
that, which is the one which really appeals to me. Then
Correct.
in one of the sessions, we started talking about this. What do you really want to do?
Hmm.
Then when I went back to the testimonials, feedback my moms had given me in the parenting niche, everyone, almost everyone said, we love your meditations, healing, and guidance.
Right.
So then that is very close to my heart. Like I said, Rahulji and
Correct.
me, we have many things in common, similar. Like he has been to Vipassana the retreat. I have also gone there. So spiritually also we connect,
Hmm.
some kind of, even my clients tell me some connection is there when they get attracted to me. So something common is there. So that is
Hmm.
how me and Rahul connect again, me and my moms connect. So then when I reflected back on my life, I
Hmm.
really wish I had Rahulji when I was facing that difficult phase in my life.
Right.
When my son
Hmm.
was a teenager, when I couldn't handle his schooling, I was a
Hmm.
single parent for 4 years. All that difficulties come back to me. So that support I'm giving to my moms. I wish someone had guided me how to handle my
Hmm.
emotions. So this is all connecting in a way. So
Wow.
yes, so the click happened in one of our sessions when I connected what Rahulji was guiding me with, what I wanted, what
Hmm.
my moms loved about the coaching.
Hmm.
So this was the common factor. I thought
Right.
this is the path of least resistance.
Correct.
I'm enjoying it a lot. Each session, I love sharing whatever I have
Hmm.
worked on myself for 25 years. That it didn't go a waste. Now it is helping someone else.
Right.
Now, each book I read, each podcast I watch, what can I
Hmm.
take from this? How can I give it to my moms? Every moment I'm
Right.
thinking like that.
Right.
So, yes, dots are all connecting.
Nice. Beautiful.
One more failure I would like to
Mm-hmm.
highlight.
Mm-hmm.
For years together, I had a regret that I'm a bad mom.
Mm-hmm.
I took 2 years away from from the childhood of my son. I can never give it back to him. I put him in
Mm-hmm.
a school where he was not with us, and he was there, small child,
Mm-hmm.
10 years old, and he was studying there 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I always felt I took my son's childhood away. I could not give it back to him. I
Mm,
had a huge regret till recently, till about
mm,
2 years ago. I used to cry every time that Tare Zameen Par is my story. Whenever I heard that song, माँ मेरी माँ, अभी मैं 2 years पहले मैं ये बोलती तो मैं रो पड़ती थी. अभी आराम से
correct.
बोल रही हूँ. In one of the sessions, Rahul ji did this healing to me. My eyes were closed. Then he took me through some hypnosis process. I don't know what happened. But then I was crying for that child who was suffering at that age. Then later on, my son did his post graduation. He went to UK. Now he's settled well in life. Is very balanced person. Like I am a success as a mother. That is true. But those 2 years were bothering me a lot. That was my real failure as a mother, that I could not take care of one child. But that one healing session Rahulji did for me, I then connected everything. If my
Mm,
son now is a success, that difficulty has led him here. So in that healing, something magical happened. It was like I was handing over the passport and the visa to that small child. I was
wow.
telling him, "Don't worry, your future is secure." So though now it may seem difficult, like I was pacifying him, "Don't worry, this will lead to that." So
Beautiful.
that made my healing possible. It
Mm.
is still magical when I say it like this. Otherwise by now I would be crying with lot of
Yeah.
heaviness in my heart. Even I told sorry to my son. My son said it's nothing. But I could not forgive
Correct.
myself. So this failure is actually, see, those pains are what actually
Mm,
led me to understand my mom's pain. One more failure. It's not a failure. It's a sad incident. Can I
mm.
share
Of
it? Can
course.
I share it?
Please.
So this had been going on. I was meeting moms, I was coaching moms, I was guiding them.
Mm,
But then one mom, my sister,
mm,
my cousin sister, actually, she's like my own sister. Her name is Deepa.
mm, mm,
One fine day, she committed suicide, and we never knew the reason. She had
mm,
some emotional problems which we didn't know of. We were not aware.
mm,
So that grief I just could not forget. Again, I
mm,
was crying one whole session. I just used to be crying, and Rahul, every part of my life after 2019, Rahulji has been there, whether it is my happiness, whether it is my sadness. So he helped me to turn that grief into my mission. That happened in
mm,
our sessions, in our interactions. So because I was crying so much, I could not save my sister.
mm,
I don't even know what problem she was undergoing. Maybe if she had sought some help today, she would be alive. So a mom now, her family is, they're missing her, but nothing can be done. We don't know what her potential was now if she would
true.
be living. So finally, one day I had a vision after her passing away. Like she
Mm,
told me, I got that message. She told me, Akka, I'm in a happy place. Please help other moms. So her death I'll never let go a waste. I'll help many other moms. My mission became stronger.
nice.
So with Rahulji's help and
Mm,
guidance, so that loss has become a mission now.
mm,
I see my sister
beautiful.
in every mom. Whenever a mom smiles, she says, "Thank you." Then I feel
Mm,
my pain is reducing. Actually,
right.
I'm kind of selfish. I always tell this to Rahulji. Though this is service, this is help I am doing to other moms.
Mm,
See, just like I told now, my pain is getting reduced. I am
correct.
healing others. At the same time, my pain is also getting reduced.
Mm,
So healer receives 100 times more healing, I
yes.
feel. I'm receiving lot of blessings, lot of goodwill, which I never
Mm,
expected. In fact, one of the birthdays 2 years ago, when I had my birthday, by then I had at least 200 moms who know me.
mm.
Then I felt, okay, if I die now, at least 200 people will genuinely cry for me. I'm in their hearts. That is what
Right.
I felt. So,
Mm,
yes, so though the path has not been easy, but still these things matter a lot. These are very
mm,
precious. The
correct.
love of the moms and the sadness turning into a mission.
Mm,
My own healing, when I had my leg fracture, I went for healing. It changed my life. That I am into
mm,
service of others. So a lot of things have changed in this
mm,
2019 till now. After I met
beautiful.
you,
Mm,
so many, beginning,
yeah.
but then it turned out to be a blessing.
Mm, wow. Wow. That's, I was just just before our podcast today, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'd met her on another, on a coaching program, and just hearing you share this, it kind of echoes what I was telling her, that I had recorded. Uh, so I've been doing these daily videos, right? Now it's been, I think, a year and 3 months or something, every single day.
Consistency wins consistently.
Yes, exactly right. And as coaches, that's one of the hardest um, um, challenges, if I can use that word, to overcome, right? So it's like
Yes,
basically it's like overcoming ourselves is one of the hardest challenges, because we know in our hearts that we really want to make a difference. We know we want to, I'll say the word, to serve other people, meaning we want to be able to help them, basically, right? I mean, serving, contribution, they all mean the same thing. But the biggest hurdle or the hardest hurdle is usually us, right? We ourselves. And so this was when I was, heading back from Dubai a couple of months ago. And I remembered that, of course, there was a slight time difference. And then we were, traveling through the day, and then we got to the airport. And this was, must have been at about 1:30 in the morning. But I still made it a point to record that live video. And this same live video was sent back to me today by this friend of mine,
oh,
right? Completely no logical connection, but it was sent back. And her response was that, like, yeah, you've been, like you said, you've been consistent. And I'm sharing this also because that's the real purpose of why these podcasts kind of like just came into my mind, that it's important for us to share the things that we've been able to figure out, because for years I've struggled to, to consistently um, show up, to consistently do this kind of work, and for people to know us. In fact, I think it was on, uh, now it's starting to blur. I know on one of the previous podcasts, it was, I think it was the one with Aparna, where she's talking about the cobbler, right? That you can be the greatest cobbler, but unless you tell people, unless people know that you exist, it's as good as saying you don't exist. Because your intention is, unless you're creating shoes only for yourself as the cobbler, or you're healing only for yourself, but if you truly are in that space where you want to be able to help other people, it's so important um, to find that hook, to find ways to be able to let other people know, right? So, like I was sharing with you as well, on um, this podcast itself, right? Like, for example, right now, for people who are watching this on Instagram, they can't really see us because the software has kind of like cut off our faces, right? But the intention is that even if there's one word, one sentence that someone happens to get in passing, especially someone who is in the space of wanting to be, or they know that they want to be helping other people as a coach, especially, I know that it'll make a difference. So that is the point, that when we kind of have that, that's why I asked you to double, like, I know I said double click maybe about 10 minutes ago, but this is what it is. This is the power of
yeah,
what we're doing, that when we have those moments of, oh yes, I because it was the words that you used,
yeah,
right? You actually said, like, no, I want them to do this for their families. That
correct.
is what this is about, right? Whether it's your family, whether it's your, where you work, whatever it is, that where we are helping people so that they can help more people. That is, if you ask me, that is the essence of what we're doing here, you know
True.
uh, so that's why I said this is not a conventional podcast. This is not, by no means, like, we ourselves by no means are conventional. So therefore even our podcasts are not conventional, right? But I know that this is something that, it's like, when the student is ready, the master will appear, right? So this is our way of reaching out to people who are like, they're asking that question, like, when will this stop, or when will it, mera number kab aayega, like, for people who are asking that, like, this is that moment, possibly, where they have that click, right? So thank you for sharing it this way,
Yes,
because it's not easy. It's not easy talking about your grief. It's not easy talking about things that, till recent times it would have been taboo, right?
Correct.
Especially when we talk about mental health, we talk about suicide, like things like this, till, especially in an Indian context, where we are so cultured, literally thousands and thousands of years. Part of that is, we don't want other people to know, uh, our sort of like, unfortunately, there's a degree of shame attached to these things. But it's people like us who are now on that journey, as we are becoming more um, comfortable and vulnerable and open with our own selves. We are in that position where we are able to share it more with other people. So, like I said, I have to.
Vulnerable, genuine, authentic, they are no
Yes.
longer words for us.
Yes.
First video I made, I wanted to post it on Facebook. It was such a kharab video. I sent it to Rahulji and said, I don't want to post this, it's not good. He said, post it and make it public post. I said,
Yes.
what? Do it now. He said, immediately I did it. After that, I don't know from where I got the courage. I thought no other video can be worse than that. And every day I started posting videos.
Beautiful.
So that is how Rahulji put me on track from day one. All these doubts maybe. Now I'm surprised some coaches say even after 1 year of coaching, they're
Yeah.
afraid of camera,
Yeah.
whether I'm looking good. So first thing Rahulji made me is accept my imperfections.
Yes.
So from then on, वो डर चला गया. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
even now my videos are not the best, but it's okay as long
That's
as the
totally
mom
fine.
who needs to hear it.
Yes.
That is important, right?
Yes.
Not the way I
100%.
look or
Yes. No, and that, honestly, that is sort of like that old expression of, that is the paradigm shift, meaning that is the shift that we are all knowingly, unknowingly, we are asking for that in our prayers every day, when we are like, why are we not getting enough clients? Why are we not getting enough money? Why are we, fill in the blank, fill in the blank? Why are people not showing up? Like, these are the questions that we are asking, but we are forgetting that the reason why that is happening is because we are still making it about ourselves. The moment when that's why I had to pause you. That usually I would have just kind of let you continue sharing, but I was like, no, 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 this is why we are here,
correct.
right? That people, the moment, especially as digital coaches and healers, like the moment we realize that, no, 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 this is about them and not me, not as a thought, not as a expression, but as what we feel inside us, that
Yes.
no, I'm doing this, I'm sharing this, I'm showing up every day because it's for them. I'm telling you, that is the moment when there is this, it may initially feel like a trickle, which means you'll get one like or two views. It does not matter, because when you zoom
Right.
out and you look at this one like or one share, even if it's one share, in the context of 6 months, the next 6 months, the next 1 year, the next 5 years, this one moment in that sense is insignificant. If we are feeling bad about it, if you're feeling good
Correct.
about it, then this is that moment, like you said, you decided that, okay, fine, I will, because you needn't have shared that video, but you did. And speaking of this, I was actually reminded of that. In my mind, that image is so clear, that video is so clear. You and I were talking, we were sharing messages, and I said, okay, send me an audio note.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to share with the audience, especially other digital coaches and healers, like, what is the importance of even that? Like, especially in a coaching context, when you're working with your clients, right? Uh, Exchanging audio notes. I'd love to hear that aspect.
Yes. 2019 sessions were going on. Then some assignment Rahulji gave me and he said, send me a voice note about this. I said, I'm not comfortable with voice notes on WhatsApp. Like, I'm not a technology person. I didn't
Correct.
even know about Zoom before I started coaching. But I said, I'm not comfortable. Then he said, from now on, you'll be only talking through voice messages. So that's how he broke the inhibition.
Yeah.
And after that, my moms love to hear my voice messages whenever I have to share
Yes.
something elaborate with
Yes.
them. It may be either video or voice message. They love to be connected with me. So I have broken that barrier. And in the initial days, one more fact I would like to highlight. I used to feel I'm too old to be a
Mm.
coach. There are all those young ladies. wearing those jackets in Western formals and with a kind of accent. I am having my Indian, South Indian accent. Then Rahulji said, doesn't matter, you be you. I mean, this was like biggest hurdle crossed.
Mm,
You know, being yourself is the most easiest thing to do.
correct.
And when Rahulji was talking about, being vulnerable, being genuine, he always reminds me that the more you do this, you are giving the same assurance to your moms.
Mm,
They are also holding something back which they can't share publicly or in a group.
right.
So they'll be enabled or empowered to ask questions to get
Yes.
solutions. Otherwise,
Yes.
moms swallow their pain and they act as
Yes.
if they are happy. Inwardly, they are suffering. So, as
Yes.
long as I am the role model, how will they know what to do?
Correct.
So, Rahulji has been pushing me or guiding me. When he says, do this for your moms, then I won't think twice. I'll
Mm,
say, so that's the way the journey has been.
mm, mm. So you said something very powerful, and I mean, it's like, inside me there are like it's there's so much of joy and happiness right now, because in so many ways, things that we talked about, it's like I feel like the analogy that's popping into my head is, I feel like that gardener who's looking at like a rose garden, right? And it's not one flower, it's like literally, multiple flowers, there's the smell, it's all of that, right? The
All my
aroma.
moms know you, Rahulji. Many of your techniques, your hypnotherapy, NLP, everything I take it forward. And this is why Rahulji, they say, thank you, Rahulji. You're not there in the meeting, but your name, your memory is there.
In spirit. So, in this context of like finding your own voice, right?
Yeah,
I'd love to hear your perspective on. You said something about um, you be you. That was
yeah,
what
you
you
be
had
you.
you had heard then. Now there is this. You know where I'm going with this. Now there is a new nara, a new slogan, which is "You do you."
Do you.
Correct. So for people, especially for digital coaches who are out there, I'd
Yeah,
love for you to share your perspective on, from the you be you version to the
yes.
you do you. What does that actually mean to you?
Yes, actually, for a coach, it's a journey. For anyone training to be a coach, one fine day we feel like helping someone with our
Yes.
talent and passion. Then we start. Then we start to look around. Then we
Mm,
start copying some elements from this coach,
mm,
other mentor. We
mm.
get into multiple mentors. Then we
Correct.
start experimenting.
Correct.
So this all happens in phases. For me, you was thought from day one. That is like a
Mm,
gift. So
correct.
big hurdle crossed for me. For others, it may be their journey when they
Mm,
discover that I can be vulnerable, I can be genuine, I can be myself.
mm,
Then this is the phase recently Rahulji introduced me to, which is you do you. Because we are into so many learnings and
correct.
contradictory concepts we learn.
Correct.
Then we get confused. Should I follow this? Should I do this? Nothing is working. Ultimately, we reach a stage when we feel nothing is working
Mm,
because they are all not your concepts. It works for that person who is
yeah.
teaching it.
Yeah.
So finally, Rahulji, it was like another phase opening up where I'm still more comfortable even to experiment,
Mm,
even to take risks.
yes.
Sometimes you feel, oh, that particular person has told something, I have to
Yep.
follow it, to the T, otherwise I'll go wrong. But when Rahulji gave me that assurance, try it out. You do you. What
Mm,
feels right to you, follow that path. Then you're
nice.
truly aligned. Then your
Mm.
clients will also sense it. They
Yeah.
may not see something different, but when I'm talking, when I'm teaching something, it is what
Mm,
I believe in. It is not just because I've learned it from
true.
somewhere. It is what I truly believe, what I have implemented.
Mm,
In fact, of late, I'm sharing lots of personal stories with my clients. I don't
mm.
even know how they are, flowing out of me.
Yeah.
Even every some argument I've had with my husband, I have to give as
Mm,
an example to my moms so that
correct.
she can relate, and how I have resolved it, I share with them.
Wow.
So they love that part of me. It's big. It's
Mm.
becoming so effortless. Effortless is one of Rahulji's favorite words, which I love to practice anyway because it's effortless.
Yes.
So you need not prepare for a session, right?
Correct.
One particular session I remember there was a one-to-one session. Then I asked Rahulji, what should I prepare? What should I ask? What should I
Right.
talk for 1 hour? He said, you have to listen. You should not talk. आपको सुनना है. Give her space. Hold space. And he said one important phrase which I recollect after that every session is happening like that.
Mm.
He said, go with the flow.
Yeah.
There's no
True.
pre-planning needed because we don't know what state she is in. The mom
Correct.
coming to you, allow her to express, ask the right questions, give her space. That's all you need to do.
Mm.
Till
Yes.
date, those are my guiding principles.
Beautiful.
And they tell me, thank you, we got so much from you. What am I
Mm.
doing? I'm just going with the flow. So every
Nice.
step, I'm so thankful to you, Rahulji. These are the doubts you have cleared for me without actually sharing any textbook concept with me. It is like you
Mm.
go with the flow, do your thing. In fact, I've saved Rahulji's name as Rahul Alignment because he was always talking about alignment, alignment, alignment. Now I feel with you do you, it is truly aligned. You
Yes.
be you, you do
Yeah.
you. What else? It is like the purpose of human life,
Yeah.
finding yourself, being true to yourself.
Totally.
I think this is the added benefit of being
Mm.
a coach, guide, mentor, healer. You get to transform yourself.
Yeah. True.
Recently, I started one new niche again with the
Mm.
encouragement of Rahulji. I was not ready. I had this idea since 6 months.
Mm.
In one of our sessions, it happened, Veena ji, why don't you think about this? Then I thought, yes, now I am ready because moms are asking, we need financial stability,
Yes.
independence. We are inspired by you. This to tell me, okay, come, I'll train you. Sitting
Mm.
at your home, this is ideally suited for moms, part
Mm.
time, and you can reach any part
Correct.
of the world. Become a digital coach.
Mm.
I just named it very simply earn 20K because the
Nice.
20K for a person who has this talent, who has a passion, but who doesn't know how to encash it.
Correct.
20K is like big amount. It is like
Yes.
that door to her freedom. So I started earn 20K program. Exactly what I learned from Rahulji, I'm just teaching them. I am removing
Beautiful.
their hurdles in their
Mm.
path.
Exactly.
So lots of credit goes to you.
So I'll let you in on a secret. I
Yes.
was so it's like when we talk about the power of intention, I actually uh, remembered this part about the earn 20K about 8 minutes ago. It came to me, and I was just listening to you, and I was about to say, for instance, I would have said, okay, all this is fine, but people want like something substantive, like where it's real, and money is one of those things that is real, like we can see it, right? Like if you see the number in your bank account, it does something to us, right? If you go to an ATM and you put that card in and money comes out, one is you're seeing a number on the screen, secondly you're feeling and sensing and smelling something which to
Yeah.
us means something. So I was about to say, okay, all this is fine, Vinaji, but I have one question for you. Like, how does this translate in real time? And I'm glad that you, on your own, you kind of
Synchronicity.
sensed my intention. And
Synchronicity हो रहा
yes,
है.
100%, right? Because this is and again, there are a lot of like I said, the idea of why you do you is because a lot of times we forget, right?
Yes.
If right now, if I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, if I'm working with somebody and I can help them generate whatever that amount is, and that's where I remember you were asking me about like 1 lakh and 3 lakhs, and that idea was kind of like it was floating around in my mind. And then one of those days that it sort of like came together like this, and I said, yeah. And then you're like, yeah, yeah, earn 20K. I said, yeah, like, do you
I
believe
was
that you
ready.
can help?
I was ready.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Right. That if you, the moment you believe that you can help somebody in the context even of money, I think as a coach, that is something that is truly, truly, um, it's, that is the next level of coaching.
Next level.
And I'm saying this in the context where it is not to do with um, you know let's say teaching somebody to in the non money space. See, in the money space it's easy. In the physical space, so it's like, okay, I know I can help somebody shed x amount of kilos,
हाँ.
or I know I can help somebody set up a trading account and therefore generate revenue. Those are the more tangible ones. But in our line of work, which is primarily healing, you can call it personal development, all of that, but it's primarily healing, right? Because when we're able to heal, we're able to do a lot more, because we're able to take that energy that we've been, you know, we've not had access to for maybe the last 5 years, maybe the last 20 plus years. But now we're able to access it. And then when you're connecting it to something that is of value to people, which is money, go ahead. And I was tempted
I'm
to continue
having
what
goosebumps. The first 8 moms joined within 1 week. Never has
Yes,
it happened that I announced something. In fact,
yes,
every one of them said, "Thank you, ma'am, for starting
yes,
this." I mean,
yes,
they were waiting. I don't know why I didn't start. Like they were asking, like, we are inspired by you. We want to be
yes,
someone like you.
yes,
Doing this thing for others. It may be teenagers, it may be anyone, but they wanted
yes,
to help and they
correct,
wanted to find their purpose, their passion.
correct.
And like when they said thank you, and I thought, why did I delay so long?
No, it's all, it's, you know,
It
this,
was all
it is all
magical,
about, it
magical.
is all about time and place, right? And it's
Yes,
magical. Like I'm sure
yes.
you for a moment you must have been like, is this really happening?
ये क्या
Like
हो रहा है like that?
for years and years and years, literally I've done so much. I've put my heart out there. I've offered, free classes, free one to
Yes,
one, charge one to one, whatever. People are not coming. Like, what
huh.
is, they're coming, but they're not coming at that pace that I want them to come, right?
Yes,
Where I know,
yes.
okay, it's a business. But here I just put a word out
Its
and
energy
suddenly,
was different. Just waiting for me to call and they came running.
and I want to say this here, definitely give me your perspective on this. Whoever's in your, whether it's in your, your mailing list, whether it's in your followers list, whether it's in your many WhatsApp groups that you've created, if people haven't yet uh, bought a program from you or engaged with you deeply enough, it's only means that they are waiting for the right program for them. That's all that
Correct,
it is,
correct,
right?
exactly. Needs according to that when they get something, they'll come. True.
Yes, because
Even this
think about it
fact,
of
Rahulji had to tell me that you're good in,
hmm,
gathering people in WhatsApp groups,
yes.
gathering moms, communicating with them. I
Yes.
didn't know it was my strength. I just open a WhatsApp group and just like that, I just tell Rahulji 100 join,
Exactly.
180 join. He said, see how easily you're doing it.
Yes.
This is one flaw in me. I don't acknowledge it like I learn to acknowledge it because I have to feel grateful to it. Only then universe will give me more. I
Yes.
said, so what? Ye ho
Yes.
gaya, like that. So this is one
Yes.
major factor. I'm still getting trained to acknowledge the successes or the positive
Mm.
factors.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that is what makes even this I call it the journey, right?
Right.
This desire, this intention to help other people. It's a journey
Hmm.
because at every phase we will uncover. It's like video games, right? I don't. Thankfully, I don't. I've never enjoyed video games. I get a headache. Um, but the principle, the concept is exactly that. Meaning, at every stage we are unlocking some new powers in us. At every stage we are we are able to take on the let's say a stronger challenge, a deeper challenge, because we also have the whatever strength we need, whatever special powers that we need to handle that, right? Because the previous one is done. Now we're ready to handle something even more. And that's what,
Right.
it's like literally, if I was to say, do you see, it's like, do you see yourself doing this for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years? Like
That was
literally,
one big question you asked me.
right?
I used to say, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. One day came, I said, I'm going to do it for life, whether I earn money, whether how much ever difficult it is, I'm going to do
Yes.
it my lifelong.
Yes.
So that is when I think
Exactly.
I broke the barriers. He was repeatedly asking me the question, are you in it for a long term? I was not
Correct.
sure. I could not say
Yeah.
yes. I said maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I had a lot of fears. But one day when I said I am here for this lifetime,
Mm,
then it's a long term game. Today's defeat may be tomorrow's success, and this cycle goes on. This is one more important
mm,
observation. Seeing my own track record, past 2 years
mm,
especially, there are ups and downs, and every time I went down, I used to feel very afraid.
mm.
No money in my current account, bills are coming, no new clients coming. What
Yeah.
will I do? There are fixed costs. and then
Mm.
you can't say no to bills. But
Correct.
revenue is not constant. I was
True.
a salaried person, so I used to repeatedly question Rahulji. See,
Yes.
with salary you could budget, you could plan your expenses, but here receipts are not
Mm.
constant. So what should
Mm.
I do?
Mm.
Then now, after about 2 years of this many ups and downs, I've got used to it. Okay, this is a low phase,
Mm.
money will come, because that has
Yes.
been the trend. It will
Correct.
come somehow. This is
Beautiful.
one awakening or realization which has happened. Now I don't get
Amazing.
perturbed or disturbed. Even though I don't have new clients coming in, I feel okay, they'll come there. Rahulji has always told me, right now, as we are speaking, someone is waiting for your
Yes.
services. She
Yes.
will come.
So there's one magic word that I heard many years ago, which
Hmm.
is yet, meaning
Yet,
YET. So
wow,
I don't have it yet.
yet,
And the moment you say that and you just notice what's happening inside you, that's it. Yeah. Literally right now.
literally, let it go. Like अपने साथ कुछ लेके आएगा वो फिर आने वाले
Yes,
टाइम पे.
exactly. Right. So it's not pretending that there is no pressure. There is pressure,
There is
which of
pressure.
course we have learned to put on ourselves through our life
Hmm.
experiences. But when we start to make these micro shifts, right, when we put in these things like words like this, because words have power, right? So when we're saying this,
Yes.
immediately things shift. So I want to ask you this: when you're talking about power, uh, what has yeah, I know you mentioned at the beginning of today's pod, but what has community done for you? Like how has community played a role in your life, especially as a digital coach and healer?
I feel very blessed. I never
Mm,
ever saw myself like this with the community, especially moms, ladies. I
mm,
don't know about other communities, but we always love talking to each other and getting that support and guidance from each other.
mm,
Even in
mm,
my community, I never say only I am the leader, I'll tell you, you all follow. I, in fact, invite all the moms, give your suggestions,
right.
your advice, what should we do? I take their suggestions in implementing any new initiatives.
Mm,
So they have been guiding me. For example, in one of our groups, we do a challenge, periodical challenge.
mm,
We were doing a salad challenge. Okay, we'll do something for our health.
mm,
Then by the time it ended of about 10 days, we did one mom suggested, let's do walking and steps challenge. So we implemented it and everyone joined
mm.
in. So it's like a collective forum. It's
Nice.
not that, we, in fact, my logo also empowered moms, we are all holding hands with each other.
Mm,
No
mm,
one is at the center, no one is at the top, no one is at the bottom.
yeah.
We are all together in a circle.
Mm,
Each person is important in our community. And I, as a creator,
mm,
okay, I can call myself as the creator or the catalyst for this community.
mm,
I'm not the leader per se, that only I'll tell you what to do, what to follow.
mm.
But as a creator of this community, I feel very blessed that,
Right.
God chose me for this role as a community creator
Wow.
to connect moms from all over India. They become buddies and they know each other so
Yeah.
well, and they thank me for that, for
Mm,
having connected two, three of them who know each other in their cities. They do meet,
mm.
they know each other's birthdays, they know about each other's families. I became the connector. That gives me a lot of
Wow.
happiness.
That's
And they
beautiful.
now feel, just in yesterday's in my diamond session, one mom told me,
Mm,
I have made them as accountability partners to call each
mm.
other. Then she had some problem at home. She just called her accountability partner and they discussed, and her
Wow.
problem was solved. Within that
Wow.
half an hour, she spoke to her accountability partner.
Mm.
Her problem was solved. This all has a ripple effect. You don't even know what you're doing. At least I feel like that when I sometimes get self doubt, I remember all these
Mm.
things, all these incidents,
Mm.
or at least two, three moms have decided to live their life fully without taking the drastic decision of committing suicide. That
Yeah.
has also happened.
Yeah.
I mean, what more can a person, a
Mm.
simple lady Veena, if she could do this, who had retired from the bank, and I thought my life is over, I have nothing
Correct.
else to do. This is like gift from God.
Mm.
Veena, your life is over now. I mean, whatever you have to achieve, material
Mm.
things and your status in society, all that
Mm.
had happened for me. This was, I never asked for it. It came to me
Yeah.
like a gift. You just contribute to someone's life, and you'll get the kind of
Mm.
fulfillment or satisfaction which no other thing can give you. I
Right.
remember one day in April 2020 or so, 19 I started, 2019 I
Mm.
started. In April 2020, you and me were talking like this.
Mm.
And you asked me, do you want to continue? I
Mm.
said, maybe, maybe not. This is so
Mm.
difficult. This path is so difficult. I have to
Mm.
lose my sleep and a lot of things we have to do to set up. At that time, I was still starting. But Rahulji, this gives a certain satisfaction and fulfillment which I have not got anywhere else. By that time only,
Mm.
I had experienced within 4 or 5 months of my
Right.
starting.
Yeah.
I've already experienced. This is like I can't even describe.
Correct.
When that mom who is crying, one mom told me I had some problem. I didn't remember my mother. I remembered you.
Wow.
It was so touching. They tell me I can't share my problems with my mom. My mom will worry about me. That's why I feel
Mm.
like sharing with you.
Beautiful.
These are all very much, heart to heart, very
Mm.
intangible, but
Mm.
so very precious, Rahulji. So
Yeah.
precious.
Mm.
My entire birthday, my mom celebrated this year. Last month, I had my birthday surprise upon surprise upon surprise. We can't get how much ever money I pay. You can't buy these things.
Yeah.
I'm literally in their heart. They are in my heart. We are connected. This feeling is the best in the world.
Mm.
Best in the world. Really.
Beautiful.
I've told
Mm.
Rahulji many times, okay, what's the meaning of my life? I'm okay, I'm ready to die. But for my moms, I have to live.
Yes.
I'm living for their sake.
Beautiful.
So truly, this is not just words. I'm just saying it
Mm.
because Rahulji's presence gives me that confidence to share very authentically. I never hide anything. So truly, I mean it when I say my life is has no
Mm.
meaning without my moms. That is the
Beautiful.
power of
Yeah.
community.
So true. So true. Um, I'm just kind of reflecting back on the pod that we've had today, and the fact that you were able to share um, with so much strength and um, warmth. The story of um, Tare Zameen Pe, and
Without
right.
crying.
Yeah.
that is a
Exactly.
that is a breakthrough.
Exactly. And I mean, to me, these are reminders that we really are doing something that it's not about us. It's really about creating that ripple of change in ways that we are not even trying to control anymore. You know, and it's like once you know you've done that, then it's like that magnet and iron filings, right? There's just more and more and more of this because it's like you're telling the universe, and the universe is answering back saying, okay, yeah, you're ready, have more. So it's really beautiful to hear you share these stories, because I know there are people who will hear this, who are probably hearing this right now, live, people who will hear this later, and I know that it'll be that they will come to you at some point saying, I happened to see you on that podcast. They may or may not
Right.
even remember the name. It's immaterial. They'll be like, I saw you, and then you said that thing, and it spoke to me. you
Yes,
know
these words are meant to be heard somewhere. That is why we are speaking.
exactly,
Someone
exactly,
who needs to hear it.
exactly. So yeah, that's why I make it a point to also ask about community in
Right.
these podcast episodes, because I know everybody has a very different perspective on community, and yet there will be like a common ground, so to speak. So
Yes.
that's something that and I'm saying this also because, like, how does it relate to me personally? Like, I've been very fortunate to have realized the power of personal development, the power of healing many years ago, right? And so my journey has been different, but the one piece that I didn't really fully get for many years was community. And hearing your story as well, it further strengthens um, that belief in the power of community, right?
I think
And
you have created many communities through coaches like me.
exactly,
In a way, you have contributed.
exactly
And
that.
you have your own community, of
Yes,
course, the hypnosis
exactly.
community. So it is like ripple effect. It's happening.
Exactly that. So that's why, I mean, it's like, it's literally my mission to
Yeah.
know, like, and even if someone says, no, I don't have community, and they'll be like, no, actually, yeah, I do have a community, right?
Yeah.
And therefore it's not anymore about numbers, as in whether you have two people in your community, yet
Right.
whether
Right.
you have 20 people or 200 people or
Yes.
2000 people, numbers are secondary, because it's really it's also my intention to kind of be that mirror for you right now, in the moment, when you're reflecting on your journey to create community, and your journey today in building that community, because this is my intention, is that this will help you further strengthen your resolve deeply, to build a stronger community, to build a deeper community, build a bigger community, of course, right? And of
Right.
course, the other aspect is, especially for digital coaches and healers, it's when you have a community, they are the ones who will support you, right? There's this very
Right. Right.
famous expression of one funnel away, right? Russell Brunson's one funnel
Mm.
away.
Mm.
The logic is the same, that if you build your community, and when you then want to offer something, create something, they are the ones who will support you. Why?
True.
Because you are constantly thinking of them and supporting them. And that is something which, like I said, it escaped me for many, many years. But that, when you have that moment of, oh, okay, TK, I got the meaning, I got the message, you know? So it's like, once you get that, then it's about going out into the world and telling more people about it. Like I was sharing with you earlier also, no? This it really struck home about being consistent. And now I don't
Yes.
have to think about it anymore. So now I know I'm at that point where I want to go out to other communities and talk to them about my journey of how I was able to figure out how to be consistent, right? And I know you and I have had those conversations. I've even been, fortunate to
Yes.
talk to your community as well. And that is really, if you ask me,
I want to share something very important
please.
about that. I called Rahulji. I invited him to talk to my community, introduce them to hypnosis, and he agreed and he came. But that is the first time I realized I was not feeling
Mm,
insecure
beautiful.
of inviting another expert to my community. Till then, some of them had approached me, or even I have done collaborations, but I was feeling insecure that they will take my moms away. What
Yes,
if my moms
yes,
go from me to them? I
yes,
was kind of possessive about my community.
yes,
But the moment Rahulji came, that session happened, I was open with a clear mind.
yes,
I even sent them to Rahulji's WhatsApp community. If they want hypnosis, let them go to
yes,
Rahulji.
yes,
With Rahulji, that barrier was broken. Now I no longer feel that kind of insecurity. In fact, I'm calling more and more guest sessions because
yes.
I want my moms in my
Mm,
club. We call ourselves
mm,
as Empowered Moms Club. Earlier it was
correct.
Ma Healing.
Mm,
Then we found out that healing is the path and
mm,
empowerment is the destination. So
beautiful.
in our club, we invite the guest. Now I have a vision that all kind of experts, whatever
Nice.
moms want, they'll get
Mm,
from my club when they are with
beautiful.
me, whether it is about health, fitness,
Mm,
Ayurveda, homeopathy, even your dressing image,
yes.
everything they'll get here. Whatever
Mm,
it is, weight loss,
mm,
nutrition, I'm calling experts. So
nice.
in fact, my moms were asking me, we want to learn, professionally to wear a sari. I said,
Mm,
I know many coaches,
mm,
many people training you. I'll contact them and I'll connect
nice.
them with you so that you can
Mm,
learn from them. So
mm,
this insecurity has gone. I was
yeah.
hugely insecure about, competition. I was saying no to
Mm,
collaborations. I was always thinking how to work out the finance. I'm a
correct.
banker, that banker personality never goes. Always I'm calculating, इससे पैसा क्या बनेगा, क्या करेंगे आगे जाके. So now no thoughts about it.
Nice.
The ultimate intention is my mom should get the best
Yes.
in my Empowered Moms Club. They should get everything they want.
Yeah.
And I see her as a leader and I want
Mm,
her to become the mentor of her family. When I have
wow.
that big vision, she should get everything she needs to be that kind of a person
Beautiful.
in her family. Her
Beautiful.
family, the people around her should respect her. Her
Mm,
status should increase. Now I even have an avenue for helping her to make money. So
mm,
now I feel like in good place. Okay, whatever the
beautiful.
moms need, I can give
Mm,
to her without
yeah.
feeling the insecurity that she'll leave me and go away. She'll not go anywhere because she's my
Correct.
mom. We are
Correct.
connected heart to heart.
Correct.
So that is the feeling now, which I That barrier I
Mm.
broke with Rahul. It happened in your
Beautiful.
session only. Yeah.
Hearing you say this, it just reminded me of something that I know a lot of coaches and healers out there
Can I
struggle
share
with.
something out of the way?
Please.
You're talking about struggle. I'll talk about my struggle. So this is a cup of coffee, okay?
Mm,
A cup of coffee. This is magical every time it comes on my table.
right.
Ask me why.
Why?
Because in March 20, May month of 2020, I was coaching some teenagers.
Mm,
Then four, two girls, no, one girl, three guys were there. Every day I was taking sessions
mm,
for them. Suddenly, some argument happened between me and my husband. He said, "Why do you want to do this coaching? You were a bank
mm,
manager. You
mm,
were earning money with lot of dignity. If
mm.
you had to earn like this with so much of struggle," he saw my, the struggle, all the preparation, the
Yeah,
sessions. So he
yeah,
said, "Why do you want to do this for small amount of money?"
correct.
But I said, "No, no, I want to do this." But he said, "Stop all this. Give me your laptop. I'll take it and lock
Wow.
it away. Don't do any sessions. From today, stop everything."
Mm,
I thought about those four innocent faces, the children. Then I told him, "Please give me, this is a 30 days course. I've already taken the money and daily sessions
mm,
is going on. Let me continue for till this four children complete their program, I'll do it." He agreed. He said, "Okay." Then there was a lot of opposition. "Why do you
mm,
want to do this?" Even today he asks. But since about one to more than a year or so,
mm.
he reminds me, "You said you have a session, you're still sitting here. Why don't you start your session?" And he makes
Wow.
this cup of coffee when
How
I'm here
sweet.
in the session and he brings it to my table. Every time I see this cup of
Amazing.
coffee, oh, the same person who said, "Stop your coaching," he is helping me get my energy back.
Wow.
So every time this cup of coffee is magical, even this laptop he bought for me. So kind of the very, like I'm talking to digital coaches, you may face some opposition. If
Correct.
you have a lot of support, I bless you.
Wow.
That's a good sign. But still, if someone doubts you, questions you,
Mm,
do not lose hope. I have been through the journey. The very people who were doubting me now, they respect me a lot.
correct.
They know that because of you, because of whom? Because of my community.
Exactly.
I went to my mentor Siddharth Rajshekar's event
Mm,
last October,
mm.
and there, whenever he said community, it was like I was feeling great. Oh, I have a community.
Yeah.
Why do I feel that pride? Because I have those moms with me, my
Yes.
community. You
Yes.
make me proud, my dear moms. If any of my moms watching, I owe
Yes.
it to you that I can tell my husband that I'm doing something very precious.
On that happy note, I want to
Yes.
share this with you. I'm also just, whenever my eyes shift away, it's just I'm looking at the other screen.
Okay.
There's Kavita who has been really, cheering you on.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank
there
you,
is
everyone. Thank you, Kavita.
Kavita Sasikumar who says,
Kavita
"We
Shashikumar.
just loved all the meditation that you did
Love
for
you.
all of us, ma'am." And then there's Geeta Natarajan who says, "You are awesome, we ma."
Veema.
Uh,
Thank you.
so grateful for you in our lives,
Thank you, my dears. Thank you. We
right?
also meet in Bangalore. We have meetup.
Mm,
I plan to go to other places whenever I go. I met Kavita. I went to her home.
nice.
Whenever I go somewhere, I see who is there in that city and
Mm,
I try to meet. It is no longer just client mentor relationship. It is
exactly.
beyond that. It is beyond
Exactly.
any of our family relationships also.
Mm,
It is really heart to heart. Somehow destiny
mm,
or universe connected us to guide her in some way with the
yes.
knowledge or my own life experience I have.
Yes.
So that is the kind of relationship.
I
Yeah.
also noticed there is a Girija Menon
Yeah.
who from YouTube reached out to us.
Yeah.
Um, Kavita Rajesh says, "Hey, Rahul
Huh.
and Veena as well."
Kavita is our common friend,
Yes.
Kavita.
Yes.
Thank you, Kavita.
Right. Because like I said, Insta today was a little, we'll have to figure that the tech part out. But the important
Yeah.
thing here is that, like we were talking about at the beginning of today's podcast, that of today's pod, that this is going out to people
Right.
that we are aware of and a lot more who we are unaware of. So having said that, um, I know you mentioned, you know one was the Earn 20K, which was
Yeah,
so deeply inspired.
yeah.
Usually, this is that point where I ask you as my guest, uh, what, like, if someone wants to reach out to you, of course there are the socials, which I will be sharing that link tree link, right? But beyond that, like, how can people benefit from the programs that you've created? Like, what are some of those, or what would be, maybe, and you can choose whether it's one or more than one that you want to talk about, like, and more importantly, like, what.
How did I start as a coach?
No, so in terms of the programs that you're currently offering people,
That was
like
easy
Earn
part.
20K, now people know the
That was
story,
easy part
right?
actually.
Huh.
Everything happened with you only. Okay, I'll tell you something very funny. Okay, now I charge, of course, for one-to-one, I charge premium, but that 501 barrier was what I broke with Rahul.
Mm,
I could charge
interesting.
only 501 rupees for my program. Then Rahulji, one of the discussions we had, then he asked me, what is the value of your program? Then I said, this is what I'm
Mm,
charging, but what is the value? It was like a realization, what am I doing? How
mm,
come, I'm not able to charge premium because I'm giving so much? So
right.
that's how it started. I started from 199 rupees and gradually
Mm,
I'd reached 501 rupees in about 2, 3 years. Only few moms had paid 5,000, 10,000 for one-to-one.
mm,
So then I realized this funnel, somewhere there's a confusion. Just sell anything
mm,
and everything. Market mein rehta hai na, so many products, take
correct.
anything. It's like $1 store like that.
Mm.
So innovate the products,
What?
innovate more and more products. Okay, pay this now, take another product, pay one more
One
dollar
dollar store.
like that. It was like in Kannada we call childre vyapara. So there was no proper focus. So actually the whole magic happened when I took a break. January to
Mm,
June 2022, every session has to literally cry, tears used to flow. Rahulji, no money, zero balance in my current account, zero, zero, because I was not doing
right.
anything. Then all the strategies started happening. Then both of us did the hackathon. Then I
Mm,
found this, which is close to my heart, which is the healing part. And moms were always connected anyway. Many of my
mm,
moms are repeat clients, like they have paid me a lot to buy my products. That is their faith in my products or what I sell.
yeah.
So finally, I started doing free webinars. Even now I do free webinar, free
Mm,
first call, one consultation. I give 30 minutes because moms hear me in the webinar, but they can't share back what is happening, and they want that
right.
one-to-one comfort where they can
Mm,
truly speak out what is happening. It may be
correct.
mother-in-law problem, husband is having an affair, what should I
Mm,
do? Teenage kids always tied up to gadgets, and because of the
mm,
emotional problem, lot of health problems happening. She already knows
mm,
that my health problem is because of my emotional issues or some work related. Recently, one lady was sharing me she has lost her confidence in work. So all these problems
true.
happen. Outwardly, they'll be seeming very normal. They can't share it with
Mm,
anyone, but they are
mm,
the victims. So somewhere she is silently suffering like a victim. I want her
mm,
to be a confident achiever because I have gone through it all. It has been my story.
right.
Finally, at
Mm,
age 40, I decided this bank job is not for me. I want to live my life the way I want. So it was like my breakthrough and the happiness I found
mm,
out. Everyone did not leave a job. I tell my moms,
good.
you have your EMIs, you
Mm,
have your commitments, but how to balance better. So that is why I have this free webinar, free consultation. They can connect with
mm,
me at connect@veenabk.com. And I always ask Rahulji one question. Most of the times I keep asking him, where were you when I had so much problems? If you had come in my life, all those problems would have been sorted. I had nobody. But then Rahulji reminds me, really? Was there nobody? Then I say, okay, I was there for myself.
yeah,
But
that's
it's
right.
such a difficult balance to be your own strength as well as experience your pains.
Yeah,
So that is the comfort I'm giving to moms. You have someone in your life
beautiful.
to help you. You're not alone. That main feeling I want her to have,
Mm,
especially my sister, how much alone she would have felt when she took that drastic decision that she could not share her sadness
yeah.
with someone. No mom should ever feel alone. She should always see hope in her life that these things are going to change. These
Mm,
difficulties will not remain forever. With that intention, I reach out to them. I give my free masterclass or free consultation.
Mm,
Rahulji will share the details. You can connect with
of
me.
course. Beautiful. That's so powerful. So I know that this part of the pod there is a bonus. So obviously for people who are, especially who've been watching all the way through, this is that part which it's not the conventional bonus, right? Normally, um, there is like a free PDF or something, and of course, I'm getting ideas right now. But in today's bonus, here's the thing, right? Uh, I'd love for you to share what, and I know you've briefly talked about it over the last so many, the time here together. But what has been the role of hypnosis? And because I have a story which I think you don't know the story yet, and we'll know soon enough when I see your reaction. But what has been the role of hypnosis and NLP in your life?
Biggest after I came to you only, otherwise I'd read about hypnosis and NLP, but the experience
Hmm.
happened only with your coaching sessions.
Hmm.
Biggest is that regret I felt as a mother. I'm not a good mom. I used to
Hmm.
feel very, very guilty.
Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
healing happened with you, and that guilt went
Hmm.
away. And especially the
Hmm.
questions you ask, it makes me probe deeper. All my bahanas go away, no longer hiding somewhere like all those inner thoughts come out, and I start to question my own beliefs. My beliefs started to
Right.
change, and especially
Hmm.
this self doubt as a coach. You always remind
Hmm.
me the language you speak, the questions you ask. In fact, that magnetic hands, that therapy technique, what we do, all these things, the
Yeah.
forest meditation we did in one of the hypnosis
Yeah.
sessions. It was a group session. My
Nice.
other friends, Debasmita, Sridharji, they were all there.
Hmm.
That forest
Yes.
meditation was so good. I just take it from here and I give it to my moms. And I tell your name, this is what I learned from Rahulji. In fact, the ripple effect of all that healing is happening.
Hmm.
So my innermost fears came out. He taught me to be present to my fears, especially the fear factor, that to becoming a coach, like I said, my age factor.
Hmm.
Because at home, my husband tells me at this age, what are you doing? You will never earn money. You will never
Right.
be a success.
Right.
Everything you're doing is a loss. All kinds of, I hear this external inputs. So inwardly fear develops. Rahulji has told
Yeah.
me just two magical words: be present. Don't push your
Hmm.
fear. So be present to it, that fear starts to lose its power. So that is how I
Hmm.
am here till 4 years. Otherwise, I would have quit long ago.
True.
Just because
True.
of you, I am here.
True.
That's what I mean when I say this. And I get some doubts, especially when a client is stuck. Like women have a
Hmm.
lot of resistance. We are all
Correct.
conditioned to swallow our pains, not
Hmm.
to bring it out. Unless they heal, they
Hmm.
will not be able to progress. Then I get back to Rahulji. She's stuck. What should I do? Then he
Correct.
guides me. So the NLP hypnosis process, what he has used for me,
Hmm.
I in turn take it and help other moms with it.
Hmm.
And also
Hmm.
Rahulji clarifies my doubts whenever I have the doubts. So I think my healing system, I call it as belief healing system. It
Hmm.
includes a major part apart from my own meditations,
Hmm.
visualization, affirmations. I follow the law of attraction. It's a combination of
Hmm.
everything, because
Yes.
moms need to change the belief that I'm the victim. Actually,
Yes.
she is powerful.
Yes.
But I always say her, I cannot give you the power. It's already there in you. I'm a
Yes.
facilitator. I'll guide you. I'll help you find your own power. So that magic
Nice.
happens through the NLP hypnosis process, which I've
Beautiful.
learned from you, which
Hmm.
I've practiced with you, which I've healed myself because of those same very
Right.
techniques. I've healed myself.
True.
So now I
True.
totally believe in it. In fact, I asked you,
Hmm.
Rahulji, start this certification program. Let's do it. I'll bring my moms also.
Yes.
Though I have learned it
Yes.
from you, I really want to do it in a systematic way. Again,
Beautiful.
whatever I do for the sake of my moms.
Yes. Yes. So you know one part of the story,
Yeah.
right? Which is you asked me, I think it was at the beginning of Jan
Yes.
this year,
Yes.
2024,
Yes.
when you said, can, I think your words were, can you run a practitioner, right? Something to that
Certification.
effect.
I asked for certification.
Yes. So go a little deep, double click that if you may, because this is of value not only to you,
Yeah.
but I know to coaches who are listening.
Yeah. So I was usually I have already been benefited by NLP hypnosis, but
Correct.
I thought, even now I think, that when someone calls themselves a psychologist, okay, it has a
Mm.
credibility. Immediately people will say,
Yes.
okay, she's a psychologist or he's a psychologist. But I am not a psychologist. So I have to
Yes.
establish my credibility. After
Yes.
experiencing one session, two sessions, moms know what I can do, what results I can give them. But when I tell about myself, I don't have it. I am a sound healer. I'm a certified
Mm.
sound healer that is already there. And I've been doing
Yes.
my own meditations. A lot of things
Mm.
I've done for myself, which I'm teaching the world.
Mm.
So I said,
Mm.
Rahulji, finally I need a certification because I love this so much, the NLP hypnosis. I really love it and I've been benefited by it and I'm already practicing it.
Mm.
Rahulji has never
Mm.
stopped me. What he has learned, what he has taught me, in fact, he tells me to do it with my mom so that they should be benefited. But I
Yes.
don't have a certification. I want to call
Mm.
myself as a NLP expert and hypnotherapist. Give me that certificate, I asked him. And I told him, I'll bring students, don't worry. Start, just start. That's how it happened, I think so.
So that's one, like, they say the coin has two sides, right?
Mm.
So that was one
Yeah,
side where I know this was, I think, over the last 6 months you kept kind of bringing this up,
yeah.
and then towards the end of
Mm.
last year
Mm.
this became louder and louder, and you kept saying this.
Yeah,
Now the backstory is, or the flip side of this is, my journey with NLP began in 2007. And over the years, of course, I've made it a point to learn from the best. In this case, it was going all the way to Orlando in the US of A, since 2012, right? And I always made it a point to learn with the best. In this case, it was Dr. Richard Bandler himself, right? So 2012, 13, 14, 15, and in that space, even I even got to train with Dr. Richard Bandler and Paul McKenna, who
wow.
is sort of a name in his own right in terms of
Mm.
hypnosis. So this was all happening over the years, and of course, in those days, this is pre-COVID, Zoom. None of that stuff existed. I think the closest would have been,
Andakalatile.
yes, exactly, way
Way
back
back.
in the day, right? It was the zamana of Skype,
Yeah.
right? That was the closest you had to, the whole digital thing.
Mm.
So I've 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 tested many
But
different
you went
versions
in
back then, and then
person. You
eventually,
trained in person.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. My training was always
Mm.
in person
Mm.
in those days.
Mm.
But when I wanted to create a
Mm.
program, I tried different versions. Then I'm talking, more than a decade ago, and somehow it didn't feel right. This sounds like someone who was talking about that earn 20K. You know,
Yeah, it didn't
yes,
feel right
right.
first.
It didn't feel right.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, TK, that's just me.
Mm.
If it's not resonating with me, if
Mm.
it's not connecting with me,
Mm.
then the time is not yet there. It will happen, but when it will happen, it will happen. And then fast forward to, like I said, 2023, where you kept asking. And then he said, no, no, it's like, how many people, if so many come, I will bring so many people, but you start, right? And this was the end of our coaching cycle,
Yes.
which would have actually happened in December,
December. Mm.
but I
Extended to
I didn't
Jan.
even know it at that time, but I extended it, and I said, let's meet in the new year, and then we'll wrap up this version, right? Aptly titled Arigato too. And that last day, literally when we were wrapping up, something just clicked, and you said, do this, and I kept thinking about it, and you said, tell me when, like send me the message, I'll send it to my group. You actually did that, and that's what makes you you, right? Like when I said it at the beginning of today's pod, for those of you, if you remember it, you are not just a client, but you're also a really, really dedicated student, right? When we talk about learning as digital coaches, being the student is a very important part of that, right? So learning and then applying it. And so when you asked, suddenly for a minute I felt the pressure, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to breathe through this and see where this goes. And then little did I know, in a day I actually sent you like the first draft, saying that, okay, this is the year I will create a practitioner, which at that time also I didn't know it, but eventually I said, okay, it will be a combination of hypnosis plus NLP, because for me both have value, and I've seen it make a difference in the lives of clients. I know I've seen it make a difference in the life of my wife, who in 2018 she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And like, it's like when you talk about moments in your life that completely change your perspective on life. I know that now, looking back, all that training from, like, even pre 2007, but definitely 2007 onwards, the learning NLP, and then eventually, hypnosis and integrating it, I know that this works. And I know it in a practical sense, meaning, because today the good news is more people are aware of NLP. Hypnosis is
Yes.
still, I call it the next wave. It'll happen.
Mm.
But, so my point is, for those of you who love getting, onto a wave before, this is that space where you'll get the benefit of hypnosis. And then, of course, with NLP, because I've used it over and over again. So I know, and that's why, like, uh, this couldn't have come at a better time. In our previous pod number 3, Archana was my guest,
Yeah,
right?
our common
And
friend.
Archana specifically,
Rahulji
common
connected
friend,
me
she
to Archana and they are
specifically,
best friends now.
so
Uh,
you're hearing this version. If you want to hear how does it sound from the other side, go back to the previous pod and you'll hear Archana saying the same thing, but in her words. And it's so beautiful that, literally, like, people with heart connect and we meet, and there's literally like ripples of magic that's happening
Very much.
even right
Rahulji
now. There's
has
a plane
added
above.
value
I'll
to my life. He pays Sohaga like that.
so yeah, I like I said, that's why to
I
me,
want to share about
your
NLP and hypnosis. It really brings magical changes. I don't know about other niches. My mom's, they're resistant.
mm,
There is that inner resistance which we can't break with normal logic or life coaching. Like I have done life coaching
mm,
also. I take them through the life coaching, their
yeah,
personality, wheel of life, all that
mm,
I follow. But somehow the
mm,
breakthrough they get is with these techniques which I've learned from you. So I think every coach should
amazing,
have this as a added, certification or a
exactly.
wisdom which they can use when needed, especially when you're working very
in
deeply with mobs. In my case,
Yeah,
like it really
yeah.
breaks their
In fact, that's what I'm
resistance
saying.
to
You
their.
reminded me.
Yes, yes, it's really helping. It's really
Hearing
helping.
you as a coach
Yes,
saying that,
yes,
that was what finally was that click
yes.
at the beginning of this year, when I was like, oh yeah, okay. Like, and sometimes we forget this, right? We're looking outside and we forget what's
Ah,
in our own location, in our own vicinity,
correct.
right? You are telling me, start, Rahulji, start, and I'm like, ha ha, karenge, because
I
I
think
was in my
that's why
head
we are a
and
perfect
not.
fit. I'm always on fast track. You're saying stop, stop. I have told many of my friends.
So yeah, that's why I've also recognized that these two elements, I keep bringing it back, right? The community, and when I say NLP, I mean both, obviously hypnosis and NLP. But I know that today, at least, coaches are aware
Yes,
that there is this thing called NLP and that it can help regardless of your area of specialization. So you may be looking into,
correct,
into health, fitness, wellness,
correct.
or it could be in, the finance niche, right? So it
We are
could be
all working with
trading
the
or whatever it be.
mindset. It's all about mindset
Exactly.
ultimately. And all of us
Exactly.
cannot become psychologists. I even explored that. It takes 5 years minimum to get
Mm,
the degree and post
exactly.
graduation. So I thought, no, I already
Exactly.
have the life experience. It's only about a degree. I know actually what is happening with
Correct.
her, with my client, and how to reframe her beliefs. All that I know.
Yeah.
Only thing which was
Yeah.
missing is calling myself that I'm an expert, which I'll anyway get
Correct.
with your certification now. So that's why I
And
demanded
and
from you.
and that's the realization
Yeah.
that, creating a practitioner. Yes, there is a certification, but the practitioner
Hmm.
is a way to formalize and to put a
Correct.
structure to what we've anyway been doing,
Correct.
right? And I'll tell you this, like, if you go back to the history of NLP, a lot of it has to do with people who, and I'm talking a good 40-50 years ago, when they started to do the coding.
Hmm.
It's everything to do with people who are very naturally good at communication.
Hmm.
So what are they doing? That's what we're studying. And then we're using frames so that we
Wow.
know consciously we are focusing on what we call language patterns. We are consciously focusing on the words, like the word yet
Yet.
is an example. When someone's feeling really down and they're like, oh, life just sucks. And I purposely also became quiet, because when someone and then you say yet, but obviously the tone also matters. If I say yet
Mm.
and I say yet,
Yet. Mm.
when I say yet, like literally you can feel it going downward, that's when they go, huh.
Thought pattern
And it
changes.
starts that. Exactly. It starts
Wow.
because that's what it is, isn't it? Our energy that we feel inside is because of our thought patterns,
Correct.
right? So we can make changes in our energy, which means just jump up and down. You won't, you it's difficult to feel sad if you're jumping up and down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do the same two things at the same time. You may decide to go back to feeling sad after that. That's a different
So
story.
same thing
But
you're
I'm just saying. So
prompting the
one is where you
mind
make
to
changes.
think differently. Uh-huh.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
So there is physical prompts and then there is mind or mental prompts. And here we are just focusing on not even sentences, just words,
Words.
right? That's the intention. Of course, for me, like I said, this has been growing over now the last 17 years. And this is that year of making it available, making it possible for other people to experience that, right?
Lovely.
So there's a lot more coming. Of course, I will also be sharing a link to a Telegram group so that you can come in there, ask your questions. Even if you've experienced NLP before, this is that place where it's like I call it, are you NLP curious, or are you like, okay, I want to ask questions about NLP without the taboo, right? Because you've learned NLP, but maybe you're not able to apply it. I know it because I've been there many, many years. Like 2007, 8, 2007 it began. Between 2007 and 12, 2013, I struggled with applying NLP, right? So I know it's nice when you see somebody else doing it, and then you learn, and then you're like, okay, now what?
Rahulji,
That's why for me, I
one
know.
question at this juncture. Does
Yes,
the
please.
person going through the NLP process or hypnosis should believe in it?
Hmm.
Is it required? Hypnosis.
Good question.
Hmm.
So here's my point, right? There is a there are steps for the person to even be able to get into a NLP program, for
Hmm.
instance.
Hmm.
Correct.
Correct.
So, like, I'm just giving you
Yeah.
in a practical
Hmm.
way. So, I've right now talked about a Telegram group.
Huh. Huh.
So, those who are interested will reach out for the Telegram group, and then they will come into the Telegram group,
Hmm.
and then they will frequent the Telegram group, and then they will attend,
Huh.
like a curtain raiser.
Got it.
Then they will.
Then they
My
will know
point
when they are
being,
ready. They will know when they are ready.
yes. And this is
Great.
the same frame we use for any, whether you call it a funnel or whether you
Hmm.
call it, building a community. At
Correct.
the end of the day, it's like they say your vibe will attract your tribe, and you will get people who are right now at that point where in their minds they've been hearing this NLP, NLP. I'll share this with you as well, Veena ji. You mentioned Vipassana,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I actually heard about Vipassana in 2007,
Hmm.
and my teacher had done it. When I met him, his name also incidentally was Richard McHugh.
Hmm.
He used to go by the name of Dick,
Hmm.
and that's the American uh, correction, right? So, point is, he mentioned Vipassana in 2007, right? And I heard about it, and it didn't really, beyond that, it didn't really resonate. But in 2015, it became a reality where I literally was able to create the space, go and attend the 10-day Vipassana. And that same year, I was able to go back and do it one more time.
Wow.
Point is that there's so much of good stuff that's out there in the world, but it's only when we're aligned that things happen.
True.
And incidentally, in 2016 or 17, I think I tried to
2017 Feb, I was there.
so
Look at
my
that.
point is exactly this,
Hmm.
right? That we are not, and I know you've seen this as well. We are not trying to force people to do anything,
Hmm.
right? Yes, when people come and attend, they will have questions, they will have doubts, they will somewhere they'll be like, oh, but it didn't work for so and so,
Hmm.
and that is their journey, and
Right.
we are there. It's our blessing to be able to hold that space for them,
Correct.
right? So yeah, thank you for asking these questions, because this is really what makes this process of connecting with people, reaching out, sharing our stories. And like I told you, it's it's not the conventional podcast, and
Yes,
this
I
was
was about
definitely
to
not.
say that this is very different. We go very deep and we go with the flow, like you always believe in it.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you at another phase again,
I'm ready.
when we do
I'm ready as
round
long
two.
as you lead the
So
path. I'm ready. Whatever
so
program
so
Rahulji does,
I'm
I'm in lifetime.
so I'm also going to take a moment now to just share. I know there are a couple of folks who are watching this live, so I'm just looking at the other window. So Debasmita says, I forget for which part specifically she said so cute, but I'm guessing she also said she is awesome and always enthusiastic to learn. So this is for you,
Thank you,
Veena ji,
Debasmita. Love you.
right?
A
And she
dear
says she is
friend.
childish from within. She is so sweet. I recollect her,
Oh,
the way she hugged me.
yeah,
She
yeah. That
always
hug we
radiates
can
love,
never forget. Me and
energy,
Debasmita.
and happiness.
Thank you,
Exactly.
dear.
Right. So, and of course, as a compliment to the both of us, she says so cutely you both interact using Rahulji and Meenaji.
This is another blessing, Rahulji, to get the love of other coach friends. Our community, of course,
Yes.
they love us, we love them. But this kind of
Yes.
deep friendship with other coaches, because we are
Yes.
all on our
Yes.
journey and we understand each other so well. This is
Yes.
another gift I
Yes.
got being in a coaches community, circle of
100%.
friends. Wow, precious.
Yeah. Yeah. So there were a few folks who I can't get the exact specs on the Instagram feed, but I'm also seeing there was Charu who joined. There was somebody called You Are Beautiful Shobana,
Shobana,
who
she's
says you're
my
awesome,
mom.
ma'am. Gratitude to you always.
Thank you,
Yes,
Shobana. Thank you. Thank you,
right.
Charu, for joining. Thank you to everyone who will
Awesome.
watch the
So
recording. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah. So as we start to wrap up, yeah, what would you like to share? Sort of like sending that out into the universe. What would you like to share
For
to people who have
the
literally
coaches
reached
watching,
all the way to this
for
point?
my moms, for myself, for Rahulji, I have three words. Believe in yourself. This is what I'm getting.
Beautiful,
Believe in yourself.
beautiful,
It's
beautiful.
advanced version of you do you, maybe. We always talk about you do you. You believe in yourself. That's
Nice.
it.
Yes. So powerful.
Thank you for
So
this
what we'll do
opportunity. I
is,
enjoyed the whole interaction conversation. It was just like one of our sessions. This is what we do in some of the sessions. I tell
yes,
Rauji, don't make me cry today, because some of the processes
yeah.
go so deep, then I become emotional. Like all the emotions flow out, and some sessions are a lot of fun, some sessions are deep. Sometimes I'll be
Mm.
talking too much, sometimes he'll only be talking and I'll listen, which rarely happens. Anyway,
I was just going to
thank you
say.
so much for this opportunity. I feel blessed to be called like this for my mentors
Mm.
podcast, with whom I have been for 4 years. He knows every phase of my journey, even about my past, my banking journey. I've shared a lot of my
Mm.
experiences, which has framed me as a person. In fact, today I feel thankful
Right.
for all the path, the difficulties I saw in my path as a banker, as a mother, and even now in my coaching journey. They are all
Mm.
adding up to the journey, and they're making the journey challenging as well as phases. Yes.
Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. Uh I feel really blessed that, the space opened up, and I think I reached out to you 2 days ago. The idea came to me, of course, while I was, you know, interviewing Archana on our pod, and the space just opened up, and you were also
I
able
was in
to
the
make it. In fact,
hospital
we were
with
not
my
able to.
mom. My mom was not well.
Exactly.
Moment you sent message, I didn't even think twice. I said yes. It's on Tuesday. Tuesday, okay, I'm free. That's how it
Exactly.
happened.
Exactly. We barely
Yeah, we
spent
only
about like two
spoke.
minutes
Yeah.
yesterday, Whereas, like, like, you've got this, I've got you covered as well. And, just send me your photograph, your profile, and, create the poster, and we'll get rolling. So thank you so much. And of
Thank you
course, we'll do
everyone
two
for
parts.
watching, for commenting. Thank you, Rahulji. You are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So, two things we'll do, of course. I will start to now close each of the rooms. So, before I do that, thank you all for watching this live. For those of you who've been watching this live, thank you so much. And of course, as always, remember to live with purpose. So, with that, I'm going to close each of the rooms. And do stick around, Veena ji. We will
Yeah.
start to do our final boarding call, our final thank yous to those who are watching this as a recording, which means it's a podcast that they're on for right now. So thank you for those of you who watch this later, because it's one thing when you're watching a live stream. It's another thing when at your own time you're watching this. So I don't know when this podcast found you, but especially if you reached all the way till here, thank you so much for tuning in. And truly from the bottom of my heart, and I can say this, I know that Vinaji
Thank
has
you so
really
much. Thank
poured
you,
her
everyone. Thank you.
intentions,
Thank you.
right? So with this, of course, thank you once again. And of course, remember to live with purpose. We will be back, of course, for more podcasts. Do check it out. Our current upload schedule is we do two podcasts. We record two podcasts a week, so that you will have more and more of this, and you'll be able to connect with more digital coaches and healers and learn from their lives, and so that it can make your life even more amazing. So with this, I want to thank you.